Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So 32-year-old Michigan resident and Marine Corps veteran Michael Foy was seen on the Capitol grounds carrying a Trump flag. It was attached to a hockey stick, which is going to be real key in this story because he used that hockey stick to attack the police. So first, Foy climbed the scaffolding that was erected for Joe Biden's inauguration. He headed to the Lower West Terrace, and he was seen maneuvering toward the front of the mob just outside of the Lower West Terrace tunnel. He first picked up what prosecutors described as a sharp metal pole, and then he chucked that at a police officer like a spear. So it hit an officer with such force that it knocked that officer backwards into the concrete tunnel archway. Around the same time, there were two other men. They were attacking officers with a large stick, and then the entire mob got riled up. Everybody started to surge forward. They were throwing things at the police. They were spraying them with chemicals. They were striking them with all kinds of different items. So Foy took advantage of all of this chaos. He moved towards the police line, and he started striking the police with his hockey stick. The prosecutor wrote, quote, "Swinging his hockey stick, Foy struck at the officers at least 11 times with violent force over the course of 16 seconds. His victims included an injured officer who had already fallen to the ground, Officer A.W., and an officer whom Foy struck and knocked backwards, Officer D.P. And they said that Foy repeatedly swung his hockey stick over his head and then down at the officers like he was chopping wood with an axe. So Officer A.W.'s body cam shows Foy striking him in his body, in the area of his body, while he was lying on the ground. Officer D.P. was also on the ground when her body cam captured him striking her multiple times. And then there were other videos, there's other evidence that shows Foy striking her in the face, head, neck, and body. So while after those attacks, Foy made his way over to a Capitol window. It had been shattered by Trump's terrorists. It's the big arched window I'm sure you guys have seen in photos and videos. So he was seen climbing into the building through that broken window. So Foy briefly stopped. He called from the window. He was trying to encourage others to follow him inside. And then he headed further into the Capitol. Now, there's no information about what he did inside the Capitol, so I don't think there was anything significant. But Foy was recording as he walked through the building, and you could see in his video broken glass on the ground, tables overturned, other various signs, obvious signs of vandalism. So Foy was arrested on January 21st of 2021, and in a superseding indictment, he was charged with civil disorder, obstructing an official proceeding, assaulting officers with a deadly or dangerous weapon, 2 counts of entering a restricted building or grounds, one of which included the dangerous weapon enhancement, disorderly conduct on restricted grounds, and 2 counts of physical violence. So Foy refused a plea deal. He opted for a stipulated bench trial. And in June of 2023, Foy was found guilty of assaulting officers and obstructing an official proceeding. The assault conviction, though, didn't include that deadly or dangerous weapon enhancement. So based on the felony obstruction conviction, Foy was facing up to 20 years in prison, 3 years of probation, and $250,000 in fines. And this time, the prosecutor requested a decent sentence. They asked for 97 months in prison. So, just over 8 years, plus 3 years of probation, $2,000 in restitution, and they asked for a fine of over $88,000. There aren't any details about what that massive fine was related to, but I assume it was probably money that he raised on Give, Send, Go or something like that. That's typically what that's about. And in their sentencing memo, the government notes that Foy has been diagnosed with ADHD, depression, and PTSD. But they said, those things don't justify the violence that he displayed on January 6th. So at his sentencing hearing, Foy apologized. He apologized to the officers he assaulted and, quote, to my country. And then Foy thanked the judge because she allowed him out on pretrial release. And he said it allowed him to find a job and to get mental health treatment. Foy said, quote, you allowed me to build the life that I so desperately needed after I got out of the Marine Corps. So U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan presided over Foy's case, and she told him that because he's made such impressive progress since he was released from jail, she was sentencing him with, quote, a heavy heart. And then Judge Chutkan told Foy that she wants him to continue with his progress, but she said, you have to be punished because you were pretty damn violent. And, quote, you took an oath to serve your country, and you knew better. What you did there on January 6th was not serving your country. With that, Foy was sentenced to 40 months in prison, 2 years of probation, and he was ordered to pay a $200 special assessment fee. So no mention of a restitution fee, no mention of the large fine that the prosecutors asked for, and he's going to receive credit for the 5 months that he spent in pretrial lockup in jail. I am absolutely blown away by this. Judge Chutkan is known for being one of, if not the toughest January 6th judge. This is a slap in the face of every officer who was beaten on January 6th. And this wasn't just some guy shoving an officer. He repeatedly, violently beat officers with that hockey stick. I think this is the first time that I've actually been disappointed in Judge Chutkan. I am so happy when I hear that she's the judge. So makes me a little nervous for the Trump case that she's handling. Anyway, I will let you know if I hear any more. I mean, I guess the good thing is that, he's not going to be voting for Trump in November, and he will not be out by then. All right, thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like this video, share it, become a subscriber if you have not. If you can donate, links are below in the description box on YouTube and the podcast. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.